Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. I do think there have been some excellent speeches tonight, and I very much want to congratulate Richard Baker for bringing this whole debate to us. And the fact that so many of us have stayed to listen and to contribute shows the interest we have in this Parliament. And I think the sentiment that Helen Eady finished on is the one that we need to capture. It's about action here. I very much agreed with Lewis MacDonald that people with disabilities need a range of employment choices. They also need a range of training opportunities to give them the reality of those employment choices. And over the years, supported employment has been vital in giving people who've got talent and skills a real crack at getting a job, where traditional industry just wouldn't have looked at them. And I think that's got to be recorded. I can look around my constituency and see a whole host of social enterprises that are an important part of our economy. They provide a variety of opportunities for people. The Cyrenians organic recycling enterprise ticks every box under the sun in this place. Work-based training for vulnerable people who start off a very long way away from the labour market and end up being capable of being employed and getting decent jobs. That is more expensive. They take 50 trainees a year, but there is a need for public sector cash to help that, although you pull in charitable money. The engine shed, the Garveld bakery, the soap company on the Royal Mile just outside the Parliament. High quality goods and services, high quality training and learning experiences for people who can then move on. And only this week I heard of a fantastic social enterprise in my own constituency which has been given a lifeline of an extra month. The staff were told on the 23rd of December they were shutting tomorrow. Well, we've managed to get a stay of execution for a month, but it's a community cafe. It trains up people with disabilities. It gives them experience of cooking, of serving, and that experience has got to be kept. So I hope we can use that month's stay of execution. There are pressures on budgets, but there's a cost to getting rid of that supported employment and training, and that's that those people don't get the chance to be economically active. They don't get the chance to support their families. They don't get the chance of dignity. And to pick up Nigel Dawn's point, yes, there is an opportunity that comes from keeping people in employment. It means that less of them are taking up benefit, and it means that more of that UK money comes through to us as a Scottish Parliament. So there is a win-win if we can just construct this correctly. I know in Edinburgh that there are real concerns about Blindcraft. It was set up in 1763. Now, there have been a lot of economic crisis since 1763. Surely we cannot let this one be the death knell for them. I understand that 63% of the workforce are blind, registered blind or disabled. They're doing a proper job. They're creating products that people want to buy. They're creating beds and mattresses, and there has to be markets. And we have to use Section 19, we have to use public procurement in addition to private sector procurement to give them the chance to compete and to market themselves. And there has to be a role for ministers here. Beds and mattresses, surely universities, prisons, there will be public sector contracts. So I'd be very keen to hear from the Minister, along with other colleagues who have asked these specific questions. What is the Scottish Government doing with its own procurement policies? There's clearly a role for monitoring and supporting and sending out a leadership message to local authorities to do absolutely everything they can to make the money work and to use their public benefit opportunities when they're looking at best value contracts. But there has to be a role of leadership, both in terms of the £36 billion that's spent in our taxpayers' name in Scotland, but also about public procurement policy that the Scottish Government has got a leadership on. So I hope tonight the interest here will send a clear message to the Minister from across the parties. We'd like action, and maybe we can have another debate in a few months where we hear some positive action that's been taken.